Hey guys, HDvee here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got quite a few things to go over. We have new updates for Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, DLC things to go over. There's a lot of stuff to break down today. So if you're excited for the video, as always, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes. It really helps out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we cover in today's video. Subscribe if you're brand new for daily Pokemon content. Ring the notification bell. With all of that out of the way, let's get into the video and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off, let's go over the latest updates for Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. If you weren't aware, Walking Wake and Iron Leaves are returning today to Terra Raids. This was tweeted out by HDvee, saying, HDvee update, the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Walking Wake and Iron Leaves Terra Raid Battle event has begun its second run. It runs until the 14th of May at 23:59 UTC. So if you were unlucky to get them in the first wave, whether you just weren't far enough in the game, or you hadn't got the game at that point, or you just got the bad egg glitch, you can now return to the raid event and get these new Paradox Pokemon. Of course, Walking Wake exclusive to Scarlet, Iron Leaves exclusive to Violet, but you can obviously enter the raids if you do kind of go online and all that. Unfortunately, if you have already caught these Paradox Pokemon, you cannot catch them again. So if you did catch Walking Wake or Iron Leaves in the first kind of round, you will not be able to catch these again. You can still do the raids, get the items, stuff like that, but you are still just kind of limited to one per account. If you have another account, you obviously can go on and get it again, but for your actual account that you got it the first time around, you cannot go back and get another one. I know a lot of people were kind of wondering about that situation, but yeah, it's now been confirmed you are limited to one per account, one of each, should I say. Next up, we also have this starting today as well. So HDvee update, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Ranked Battle Season 6 is now underway. It continues to use Regulation C rules. So yeah, the new Ranked Battle Season has now begun. You can obviously just join this and do obviously all the battles and stuff like that. And yeah, apart from this, I don't think we're going to get anything else really this week in regards to Pokemon. It is currently Golden Week in Japan, where it's like 4 national holidays in a row, and then obviously it's the weekend. So very, very unlikely to get anything Pokemon related this week. So it's very unlikely that we'll get anything in regards to Pokemon Home this week. Anything about the DLC is going to be a slow burner. I mean, every week's kind of been a slow burner, but we have had like tidbits, I guess, of information. But yeah, in regards to official information this week, it is not really going to be happening. You never know. Next week we might get Pokemon Home, but yeah, this week I wouldn't hold my breath. Hopefully I'm wrong, but with it being Golden Week in Japan, it is very, very unlikely. But yeah, these raid events obviously happening, and then Inteleon is back at the weekend. So yeah, next weekend, well, this weekend coming up, there's going to be a lot of raid events happening. So that's all that. Let's move on to some new theories about Terapagos, the new pre-evolution, or whatever you want to call it, new form, and the potential typings and stuff of this Pokemon. So this was tweeted out by Soul Silver Art, saying whether baby Terapagos is a form or a pre-evolution, or even a separate Pokemon, its typing will probably be similar to Terapagos's. Many think they'll be normal types, but just look at them. So I mean, I understand why a lot of people think that these are going to be normal type, because they could start as like a normal type Pokemon, and then they potentially could use their ability to terrestrialize into any type at any given moment, which again could happen. Like, it could start off as normal, and then maybe its ability is it can terrestrialize into any move that it uses per turn. So let's say you have Terapagos and you use Thunderbolt, you can then terrestrialize into an electric type Pokemon, and then the turn after you use, I don't know, Dazzling Gleam, and then you can terrestrialize into a fairy type. I feel like that will be the ability, or something on the lines of that for this Terapagos Pokemon. The one on the left, probably not the same ability. Maybe this is just a normal type and then that's it. But yeah, for normal Terapagos, I think that's going to be in and around what it can do. Hence why Protein was nerfed and Libero was nerfed and stuff, because that basically was what those abilities were. They then go on to say, many think they'll be normal types, but just look at them. In my opinion, the designs are too intricate and colorful to just be normal types, especially now that we have the baby. The 4 types that stick out to me are the same as they've always been: Dragon, Rock, Psychic, and Fairy. So I think at least the baby will be 1 or 2 of these types. You also have to think as well, like, a lot of the third legendary Pokemon for pretty much every Pokemon game is Dragon. You know, Rayquaza was Dragon. What do we have in Generation 4? Giratina was Dragon in Generation 5. Kyurem was Dragon in Generation 6. Zygarde is Dragon. And then Generation 7 Necrozma, which obviously wasn't, and then Generation 8 Eternatus. So it's one of those things, like, third legendaries are usually, for whatever reason, they're usually just Dragon type Pokemon. But yeah, Terapagos could be kind of following the same sort of pattern there. Then goes on to say, so I think at least the baby will be one or two of these types, but once the big Terapagos comes into play, things get complicated. And again, it doesn't even have to be a dual type. I think we've kind of come into the conclusion now that every Pokemon has to be a dual type, but they don't, you know, they don't always have to be a dual type. So I know it's a legendary and they usually are dual types and stuff, but again, it could just be a pure dragon or pure normal or pure psychic or pure fairy or whatever. I still keep going back to the idea of the baby being the true Terapagos that upon terrestrializing could become the bigger Terapagos that can change from type to type at will. Again, it's very similar to what I think, like, it's very similar to what a lot of people think, that it is going to be able to do that. I mean, why else would it have like every type on its back? It's got to have something to do with it. We know it is the reason behind terrestrialization as well, so it's going to have some broken ability regarding it, surely. The other commonly talked about possibility is if the plates on its shell have an inactive mode, I could maybe see it being a typeless Pokemon, or it just stays the same original type as the baby, but when the plates light up with all the different types, maybe it can change to any type. I mean, this is also true. It could just be like question mark, question mark, question mark, and then once you use an attack, then it changes to that type, potentially. But then again, if it was question mark, question mark, question mark, would it not be broken if you just... I don't know. I mean, obviously you have to use an attack, I guess, in like competitive and stuff. You can't just not use attacks. But like, what would the question marks be like weak to and stuff? I mean, you could use items in game, but again, maybe it's weak to everything. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's all very hard to predict at this point, but I hadn't shared any thoughts on it yet, even though I think most people have thought about these possibilities already. I keep thinking Rock Dragon, admittedly, but I'm open to be wrong. Me too. Personally, I actually see it having a similar type interaction as Arceus, where you give it an item and it changes, but starting off as normal. I'm thinking something very similar. Maybe instead of normal, its standard type is water. It looks like a sea turtle. It does kind of look like a turtle. I mean, it is based on a turtle. That's what seems to be the conclusion in that situation. So yeah, I don't know. I personally think it's going to be normal or typeless, and then every single turn, depending on the attack it uses, it turns into that type. So it basically just gets stab on every single attack that it uses. I mean, it is a busted ability like Protein, so it's just weird that it got nerfed, and now we have this. It just makes sense that it is going to get the new Protein or whatever. And then moving on, we also have this as well, some more leak updates, I guess, or leak theories, leak whatever, tweeted out by Soul Silverot once again. So this was originally Riddler Q's tweets where he was speaking about what do you think the turtle relationship is, Carbink Diancie, form change family line, some cool cell stuff. And then also, obviously Pokemon tweeted this out saying a newly discovered Pokemon appears in the hidden treasure of Area Zero for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Its splendid aura is reminiscent of the legendary Pokemon Terapagos, but this Pokemon's name and true nature are shrouded in mystery. Maybe we won't get the name of it. Maybe we just don't get the name of it and we don't get it until we actually get the DLC. They then go on and say, I got a bit ahead of myself when I said that this was 99% a pre-evolution. That does seem like the most obvious choice, and sometimes with Game Freak, the obvious choice still trumps the logical choice. But if you look closer, why would the Pokemon Company say it's reminiscent of Terapagos, but its true nature is a mystery? Why wouldn't they just say it evolves into Terapagos? Why is it a mystery? This leads me to believe that there's something else than just a normal evolution going on here. Maybe that is the hidden treasure of Area Zero, and that is the mystery of Area Zero. You never know. Pokemon Company also said it's a new Pokemon, which 99% means that it isn't a form change of Terapagos, but a separate Pokemon. My first thought was instantly, what if it's just a separate Pokemon that just looks like Terapagos, but isn't a form evolution of it, like Carbink and Diancie? Then right on cue, Q posted this poll, so you already know which one I had to vote for. It's just a dumb guess on my part, but what if they left Carbink as the only normal, non-legendary Pokemon in the Scarlet and Violet game data as a cheeky hint, or even a real connection to how baby Terapagos and big Terapagos will function / parallel Carbink and Diancie. Very curious. We'll be diving into the other options later too. So yeah, basically, if you weren't aware, Carbink is the only Pokemon that is going to be transferred into, or it's the only Pokemon that's going to be able to be transferred from Pokemon Home into Scarlet and Violet. It is not a legendary, a form, or a starter Pokemon. It is the only normal Pokemon that's going to be able to do that. So clearly a bit interesting as to why that is the case. But yeah, there's obviously potential links between it, and it could be a very similar situation. But then what does this baby Terapagos, like, what's its point in the story? Like, I don't know. It's clearly like reminiscent of it. I mean, Pokemon themselves said that. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully we find out more information about it soon. But again, probably not going to be this week because it's Golden Week in Japan. Again, national holidays, so it's most likely if we get anything, it will be the week after. But that's going to be everything for today's video, though. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do consider hitting the like button down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes. It does really help out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we covered in today's video. Make sure to grab a Walking Awakening and Iron Leaves if you haven't already. Make sure to start the regulation battles if you the rank battles, should I say, if you want to jump into those. And then, yeah, what do you think the typing of Terapagos is going to be? I just think it's going to be pure normal, and then it terrestrializes into any other typing. And how do you think it what do you think the connection is between baby Terapagos and the normal Terapagos? But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and until next time, peace.